Hey guys, this week I mixed a song and I really was happy with the way the vocal turned out. It's a song that my buddy who's been on the show, Dave Huff, produced, and it's one of Matt Davis's artists. Matt's from England, the artist is from Wales, her name's Bonnie Tyler. I'm sure you've heard of her, incredible singer. And I was so happy with this vocal. I thought it might make a good example to show you kind of why I do certain things frequency-wise. Like, we've covered how to do certain frequencies and all, but I'm going to kind of try as best as I can, as best as I can, to show you why I made these frequency decisions and why I think this is a good template for a really kind of new, modern-sounding vocal sound. That sounds a little arrogant, but if you ain't a little arrogant, don't be a mixer. Okay. The song is called All I Ever Wanted. I'm going to play you a little piece of it, of the finished mix right now.
Everything that's ever meant anything is standing right here before my eyes.
Okay, the first thing you're going to notice is it's pretty full range frequency-wise. We got a pretty good even complement from about 15K that you can hear all the way down to, you know, below 100. Now, the way I think, I divide the frequency spectrum in my head, and different frequencies give me different feelings. So, like the fifth, I'm gonna strip this down and just show you the compressors. This is in keeping with my philosophy of don't try to get one thing to do too much work. You specialize. Like, think of a football team. You got linemen, you got quarterbacks. Let things do what they're good at. Now, here's the vocal without anything.
Everything that's ever meant anything is standing right here before my eyes.
Now you can see, I've done a lot of automation on the vocal to help the compressors not have to do as much work. Now, I've got RVox. RVox is kind of a unique thing. I'm not really 100% sure exactly what it does, but what it does it really well. So let's add the RVox in.
Everything that's ever meant anything is standing right here.
Okay, now I'm feeding the RVox, which is acting more like a limiter. I'm feeding that to our old buddy.
Everything that's ever meant anything is standing right here before my eyes.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those because we beat compression to death on this show. Our little Massey buddy, he's doing his work. But this is what I want to show you. Now, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 frequencies of cuts. So let's show you without it.
Everything that's ever meant anything. Everything that's ever meant anything.
I want you to notice right here, 600 and 2000, I took out so that the 1K would come through. So think of me as kind of making the 1K clearer. Now what the 1K does is it gives me a sense of power in the mix, and that's one of those trendy frequencies that we want to make sure we get the right amount in now. Now over here, I'm cutting some 200. I'm going to solo these. This is what the 200's doing.
Everything that's ever meant.
I just didn't like that. This is with the frequency cut out.
Everything that's ever meant anything.
And this is with the frequency in.
Everything.
In some circumstances you might want that, but I already had, this was a well-recorded vocal. Dave Huff's engineering staff and his engineer did a great job. That always helps. But when you guys are recording your own stuff, so your stuff should be pristine because you're all great engineers. Okay, and then the 600, this frequency I took out. This is a real kind of, I think of this frequency as it's competing for the same space as the 1K to 1.5K, and it can falsely make you think you've got a lot of power in the low mid, but you're just covering it up. So let me show you this frequency. This is with it in the mix.
Everything.
And this is with me taking it out.
Everything.
And this is with the frequency in.
Everything that's ever meant.
Now let me show you the difference between this frequency and the frequency I want to hear.
Everything that's ever meant.
See, that's the frequency I want to hear. I don't want to hear this one.
Standing right here before my eyes.
Okay, now I'm taking out a little 2K. This is kind of a...
Everything.
Now you have to be careful with 2K because 2K allows you to hear t, d, p. It allows you to hear, well, not p as much, but it allows you to hear consonants. So without that frequency, you're not going to be able to have clarity in the vocal, and you're going to have to turn the vocal louder to understand what they're saying. In some songs, understanding what they're saying is not important. This song, the lyrics are very important, so I wanted to make sure that frequency was there. Now that frequency is the frequency that I use the C1SC on a lot to control. I let the C1SC kind of make sure it's as loud as it can be without going a little nuts, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then this frequency here, this is the Jason Joshua Memorial frequency. Every time I put too much of this in, Jason would just get so mad at me. But I like this frequency, but we got a little too much in this one. So let me show you that.
Everything that's ever meant anything.
Well, to be fair to Jay, that's actually a little lower than the frequency he hates. But that's another frequency that helps you find the vocal in a mix. And then I'm shelving here, so everything from 6K up I'm adding in.
Everything that's ever meant.
That's a very dangerous thing to do. I'm adding that. It's very, very dangerous. You got to make sure your monitoring environment is just right, or you're gonna rip people's heads off. So let me show you what that is in and out.
Everything that's ever meant anything.
Now let me show you what too much sounds like.
Everything that's ever meant anything is standing right here before my eyes.
So it's a pretty important frequency, and I think of that frequency is giving a sense of expensiveness. I mean, that's the frequency that you paid $15,000 for a microphone to give you. That in our listener, it creates a kind of a subconscious feeling of expensiveness. What I did here is I added some stuff that I wanted back in after I smoothed out those peaks. We'll go through this. This is without it.
Everything.
This is with it.
Everything
very subtle
that's ever meant anything. Everything that's ever meant anything.
It's very subtle. I'm adding about 3 dB at 20K, and that's that expensive thing. But now we're just focusing on just this little part of the frequency spectrum right in here. This is kind of to compensate for the deficiencies of the equipment that people are listening to our mixes on now. If you've got like a $1 trillion sound system, I might not be making a record for you.